Good morning, family, friends, students. It's Miss Dennis. It's Terrific Tuesday, and I wanted to have just a little conversation with parents and with the kids about what we're going to do this summer to try and keep our skills sharp. Parents, for you guys, one of the most powerful ways to keep students thinking about what they need to do for kindergarten in terms of letters and sounds is writing. Now, I have not posted a lot about this because it is one of the most difficult tasks that we ask our kids to do. So we've kind of talked about the parts of it, and we've talked about how we can, say words slow and listen for the sounds and things like that. As a student, one of the things that I hear is, I can't do it. Our kids at this age, 4, 5, 6 years old, they want to feel successful in their writing. And that is very hard, especially if we're trying to do some of this stuff on the computer. Now, I know some kids have a tablet. It's a little bit easier to do because you can do the writing on the tablet. At our house, we don't have any tablets. So when we're writing things, we're using the mouse. And the mouse makes things a little bit messy. And so I want you, as you're working with your kids, to please encourage them that Miss Dennis is not expecting perfect work. If I see perfect work, I'm beginning to wonder if the parents are doing the work for them. But just know that I enjoy whatever they give me. And if they prefer to talk about their picture, that's fine. As we get into the summer, we really want to have them start writing about their picture. And so I wanted to kind of talk with you guys about how to make that happen. You guys were given a journal, and the top half of the journal has a place for the kids to draw a picture. And then there's lines underneath. I don't have one of those, okay? So I have gotten, this is my daughter's old thing. You can get these at Walmart or Target, and they are just big sheets of paper. And you can see my daughter used these. She did painting on them, so that's something that you can do. But as parents, when we are asking our kids to write in these journals, okay, you want to help them find the first clean page, okay? You may choose to then mark this page. You would get, a sticky note of some kind, and you just kind of want to mark that page so you know that they're going to the first blank page. Otherwise, they will have their journal filled up within a week. So I'm going to talk with you parents about how we can help our kids get through the summer and still practice our drawing and our writing and not be frustrated about it. Okay. So this is where you're going to have some conversation with your kids, because if they don't like the journals that I've given them and they would prefer to do something else, that's fine. I don't care if they use papers like this. The hard part is that you'll go through more of them. Like this pad only has 30 sheets. So it would only be good for about a month. Okay. But the one thing that I want us to talk about is that your kids, they are doing fun things outside of school. Whether they are watching movies or whether they are going outside and riding their scooters. Wit did a great job of telling me all the wonderful things that he did at his dad's house this weekend. He was playing with his dog. They were doing yard work. There were so many things. And Whit did a great job of talking about that. We as parents have to listen as our kids are talking to us and decide what it is that we think they are most excited about. When they are talking with us about what they thought was the best thing they did over the weekend, we want to say things like, well, let's draw and write about that. Okay? So when we draw and write about that, we want to take something that they've talked about and we're just going to turn it into a sentence. Okay? So Whit was talking about doing yard work. I know this weekend that's what I did at my house. And so I want to help the kids work through how to create a sentence about something they did. So I'm going to use an example of me. This weekend, we worked in the garden. Okay. Now, I have this sheet of paper, and I know, again, that we have kids that want this to be perfect. It doesn't have to be. If it helps, we can start with a pencil. Okay. Now, what I try to tell my kids is draw with a pencil, and then go back and color with markers. Okay. Now, look, I'm going to tell you, this is one of Miss Dennis's secrets. I use Mr. Sketch. And the reason that I use Mr. Sketch is because they smell. Like this one smells like cherry. They all have different smells. That makes it fun to do something. And I'm going to tell you that you can find Mr. Sketch at Office Depot, Walmart, Target. And it's just something that makes things a little bit more fun. So, draw in pencil, write in pencil, color with markers or crayons. And again, that's something that the kids can decide. It gives them choice. They're more motivated when they get to do things like use markers. So, that's up to you. Okay? Your job as a parent is to listen to the conversation that they're having with you, understand what is the most important part, and then help them remember it and put it into a sentence. Okay? They're going to tell us this whole long story with 5 or 6 sentences. They may even run the sentences together when they're talking to us, right? So if they're putting all of these sentences together and it's one big long sentence, then we want to help them choose just a small part that we're going to draw about. And then underneath, we have to help them figure out how many words are in that sentence. So, Whit was talking about working in the garden. I'm going to use that as an example. So I'm going to start by drawing the picture of the garden. And then, for me, I'm going to do it very basic. And you as parents can do this alongside of them. And you want to encourage them. You want to say, listen, I know that your pictures and my pictures are not going to look the same, but they're going to look better the more we do it. Okay? If they say they don't know how to draw something, then you want to talk about, okay, what shape would I start with? So like for me, my garden has those above ground beds. And so the kids may say, I don't know how to draw a garden. Well, I'm going to think to myself, what shape is that garden? It's a square. And so I'm going to start with a square. Now, the kids are going to say, oh, Miss Dennis, that looks so good. It's up to you. Okay? But you also want to be encouraging them, because the more you encourage them, the more they'll be willing to do it again. So, as you can see, I've just sketched out, right, a little box. Okay? And that's where I'm going to start my picture, right? I'll do my gardening. I'll put the dirt in there. Okay? Then I have to help with the sentence part. The sentence part is something totally different. Okay? So maybe I help them with the sentences. Okay? I worked in the garden on Saturday. Okay? So they're going to say, oh, I don't know if I can remember it. So what you do is that you draw a little line on the paper for each word that they said. Okay. You help them say it again. They may need to say it 3 or 4 times. And then you help them count how many words are in that sentence. I worked in the garden on Saturday. How many words are in that sentence? 7. So then I'm going to come down here to the bottom of my paper and I'm going to make a mark for each word. I worked is a little bit longer word, so I'm going to draw a longer line for them. In the garden on Saturday. Okay. Now, if you'll look, I have given them the framework to write their sentence. Okay. Now, what I want to do is encourage them to do what they can, and I'm going to support them with what they can't. Okay. We've already done the parts, right? We've talked about how when we have words, we have to say those words slow. Okay. So we want them to do what they know how to do, and then we'll just fill in the parts that they don't know. So it becomes something that we're doing together. They don't feel like they've done anything wrong. Okay. We're just adding to help them make it a complete product. Okay. So I tell my kids that if they know what I looks like, they should be able to write it quick. Okay. As they get to kindergarten and they learn the sight words, is, and, the, those are words they're going to need to write quick anyway. So we're going to want to say that to them so that they know what is expected. Okay. I is one of those words I know I've already talked to my kids about, that they know they need to be writing that fast. Okay. Now, the next word, worked. Okay. They're not going to hear all of those sounds. I don't expect them to hear all the words all the sounds in those words. Okay. We're going to want them to say the word slow. Worked. See, they may only hear 3 sounds. Okay. And that's okay. Okay. Worked. What do you hear at the beginning? I hear a W. What am I going to see? W. Okay. They may not hear the vowel. That's okay. I think the next sound they will hear is the R. Okay. I worked. And they're going to hear T, right? And I think what I would just say to them is, I know it sounds like a T, but it's actually going to be ED because it's something we did in the past. And then I fill in all this other stuff. So if they give us a W and an R, I'm saying good job, right? Good job. They are hearing sounds and they're recording those sounds. I worked in. What sounds do I hear in the word in? Like igloo. In. Okay. They may get that. Okay. The. Okay. They're not going to know TH, SH, CH. If they give you an attempt, you say good job, right? Okay. Because it's difficult. Okay. In the. Now, when they get to kindergarten, that's a sight word. They're going to have to learn that. Okay. I worked in the garden. Garden is a good word to do some work on. Okay. They should be able to give you the first sound. G, g. Guard. D, d, n. This may be all they give you, right? Garden. You as a parent come in and you fill in the other parts. Tell them, great job. Don't worry about what they haven't done. Okay? On. They should hear both sounds there. On Saturday. Again, they're not going to hear all those sounds, but you praise the ones that they hear. I hope that when you've done this work with them, then they will begin to take over more of the task. They are really smart kids. They love to do this kind of stuff. So I want you guys to be trying to find a way that 2 or 3 days a week, you guys are doing a drawing of their choosing, and you're helping them write one sentence about it on paper. I wanted to give you guys this tutorial for the parents and for the kids, because the kids need to remember how we do this. I hope you guys have a great day. Thanks for listening to such a long video. Bye.